There is a fifth dimension.
About the unknown.
Beyond that which is known to man.
The Garden of Thought.
The Babylon Project was our last best hope for peace.
Unexplained.
Mythologies.
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call
The Garden of Thought with Jeff Lippman.
Eventually, our sun will grow cold and go out.
You're listening to something much bigger, something hidden in plain sight.
It won't just take us. It'll take Marilyn Monroe and Lao Tzu and Einstein. All of this was for nothing unless we go to the stars.
What you're about to learn will completely change the way you experience your mind, your thoughts, and yourself.
Let's make sure that history never forgets the name.
The Garden of Thought.
Welcome, everyone, to GOT Presents the Gospel of Thomas. And here we are with our own gentleman and scholar, Mr. Thomas. How are you, sir?
I am wonderful. Coming live from Tampa, Florida on a Monday.
That's fantastic. It's so unlike every other Monday. And I still am Jeff, for all of you who don't know. And our guest this week is La Princesa herself, Tiffany Nieves. How are you? Coming to us from Texas.
Thank you for having me, Thomas and Jeff. I am bueno.
Bueno. Excellent. So you are in one of the NWA territories at the moment, and then the NWA writ large, but I understand that you have a title.
That's true. You're emphasizing the Exodus Pro territory, which is ran by the one, the only EC3 himself out of Cleveland, Ohio. And it happened to be their first women's champion.
That's excellent. You know, EC3 was on this show. He was on the Book of Black version when the co-host was PJ Black, which PJ's elusive. He'll be back at some point.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Actually need to have another session with EC3. So if you see him, or when you see him, mention it, because I do want to find out if he did in fact spend his long weekend reading the Bible and what his thoughts are. Because when I told him recently we need to talk about it, and especially Genesis 6, he said, "We'll do it live, brother." So
oh, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah. So there was that.
I definitely want to make sure I tune in.
Oh, good. But see, Thomas, we're getting new listeners. How is the NWA? I'm an MLW super fan, and I have made amazing things happen to MLW. They're selling things up. His Wi-Fi went bad. Now it's going good. Okay, that's good.
Are you taking credit for my success? Is that what I just came back into after a little buzz on the internet here?
Not yours directly. MLW's writ large, but that's the second time I said writ large. But
nothing to do with that $20 million lawsuit they settled on. But you're right. Just because the day Jeff started following, liking, and retweeting, we're selling out 8 shows in a row. You know what? You're on to something, brother.
I mean, the lawsuit was like a year ago. I mean,
you know how long it takes for that check to clear? About 60 days.
I hope not. I hope not at all. So I'm also trying to put my power behind the NWA as well. So do you have any ideas about how I can become a known NWA super fan and do good for the NWA? Like
you're already starting right now by talking to La Princesa Tiffany Nieves.
That's fantastic.
I don't even think you need any. You can stop right here. You have officially put your main focus on where the only focus on anyone who's curious about the NWA should be, and it's right here, talking to me.
You know what? So, I'm pretty convinced. That sounds good.
Listen, I am having a great time taking over the NWA. I was able to be in the first ever women's cage match in the state of Alabama. And
what?
To be a part
like a racial barrier.
To be a part, to be a part of history, regardless, to be a part, so many people, there's so many different leagues you can join in professional wrestling right now. So to join the NWA, being so new in wrestling and already impact wrestling history, that's really cool. That's beyond cool, actually. So that's to wrap up the NWA. I've had some incredible matches, good opportunities. I like some of the locations we go to. It's pretty historic, as we have the Crockett Cup coming up, and I'm excited for that because we're having Natty face our champion. So we're in a time period where, the NWA seems to be working and partnering with people. And, as you said, the Exodus Pro territory, we even have a territory system, which allows us to, travel more than just our TV tapings, which I really like.
Yeah, that's really cool. So when
it's good to see NWA expanding, and it's good to see the debut of Alex Hammerstone at the next NWA Crockett Cup event. Love to see it. Jeff, I had a question for Tiffany. I'm sorry to cut you off like always. The two questions I have right here, since we're on the topic of wrestling, is do they let you take the belt home? And who trained you? So let's start with question number one.
Oh my gosh.
You
First
have
of
the
all,
belt
who is
in
do
the
and who is
refrigerator.
they? Because La Princesa does what she and wants. So there's not like, do they let me? Are you kidding me? They're more than honored to allow me to hold their title with pride, because anything I touch, there's examples of the title making people. I make the title. So they more than want me not to just go home with it. They want me to defend that anywhere and everywhere I go, which I do.
So the belt is in the refrigerator right now? Or
That's a silly question to ask. You want to know if it's in the refrigerator?
I
I
want
can
to know
tell you
where
it's
you
safe.
store it.
All you need to know is if you want it, you're gonna have to wrestle me for it. Okay, so it's none of your concern where my titles are.
Challenging for it, brother.
Let me just ask you. Can you hear this? Let me see. Since this is audio, that's the touch of my plate connected to my leather, which is on my title that I have with me right now at home. One of many, by the way. So that's to answer one. Let's get to two. What was number two? Which seems to be a fun.
Since it is, like as you mentioned, since it is an audio medium, I will say for the listeners, proof that she does have the belt, brother. She did pull it out from under the bed or wherever she's storing it currently in this gamer chair. But my second question was,
it matched the crown.
Yeah, always in gimmick. Who trained you? Where did you train at? What was your?
So you know what? It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever watched the Powerpuff Girls, and there's the intro. There's so many different ingredients that make the pot. So I had the opportunity to have a wide variation of trainers. So I started at Flatbacks in Orlando, and that's run by Tyler Breeze and Shawn Spears, and that's a 8-week program. And then right from there, I went to OVW and I trained with Al Snow, Doug. And during that 2-year period, people passed by that shared their knowledge with us. Mickey James was one of them. We had a good amount of people, actually. Aaron Stevens, I really take credit for a lot of character development. EC3 as well. So there's a mix of people that, I work really closely with. I was very lucky to, in my time during Florida, I worked a lot with Jay Lethal and Matt Sydal. They have a great training facility, or at the time when I was in Florida, they did. So
Yeah, at the time, and it seems like the day I moved to Tampa, there's no longer a place to train in Tampa.
When did you move to Tampa?
Like 3 years ago.
That's unfortunate. That's around the time I ended up moving to OVW. So I was taking advantage of that, and it was great. I'm sorry to hear that.
Love that for you. Jeff, that's all the wrestling questions I have. Get to the weird stuff. I know you have a list.
Get to the weird stuff.
Yeah, this is exciting because, well, first of all, Aaron Stevens was the very first guest we had, but I've had Aaron Stevens on my regular show, and he guested a show with another one of my friends, so a reverend from the UK. It's a strand of Catholicism, but it's not Roman Catholicism. Anyway, they were on about the occult and Shakespeare, and they're still friends. They're like keeping in touch.
Oh, I believe it. Aaron Stevens is that person, and Shakespeare is really great, so I can see that being the reason for a long-term friendship.
Well, yeah, and I've got the two of them lined up for. We're going to do other things like Hermeticism, Rosicrucians, and all sorts of stuff. But I'm excited because the territory that we can share. You said you love myths and folklore, so with like which myths and which folklore is sort of like your comfort place, or do you love? Is it like you read the books, or is it something from your childhood? Or?
It's been a while, but I mean, it's not really myths, or I don't really put it under that file, nor do I have the time to understand what the true name is. But growing up, I did spend time wanting to be an Egyptologist. I was really into the history of, Greek gods, and I started to do my research. And then the time period that I liked the most was when I learned about Cleopatra, and that intrigued me. So that brought me down a rabbit hole of investigating. But since then, I haven't done. I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you, as you can see on my title here, or maybe you can't because it's audio. This is, I want to say that she's the warrior of war, I believe.
That's probably Artemis.
Artemis? Is it Artemis? It's either Artemis or it starts with an A. It starts with an A.
Athena.
Athena. I don't think I would remember if it was Athena.
Artemis is but her Roman name, I think, is Demeter.
I gotta look it up again. But
now,
all right, which one is the goddess that basically she always not was a tomboy, but she, she was made to fight and would always fight and always be so victorious. And let me see, that's all.
Artemis was sort of like that.
It may be Artemis.
She was one of
But
the
anytime you bring anything like that, I mean, I will sit for hours and just listen. It's very it intrigues me a lot.
Setmot was the Egyptian sort of version. She was the goddess of destruction.
Tell me more about her. I'm listening.
Well, Egypt is one of the places that did not have flood myths because floods was not a problem for them. Floods were regular as part of their plan. That's in fact why they were the first nation-state empires, because they knew how to manage the flooding of the Nile. They could grow food. They had enough food, not just to feed themselves, but to have a standing army. That was a big deal back then. So Setmot is the sister, I think, of Set, who's or maybe like an aunt. Set is like Horus's bad brother. He's like,
Okay.
you know how like there's always the good versus the evil. Horus is the hero, and then sort of usurps his father / grandfather as the son. Anyway, Setmot, when she goes into destruction mode, she becomes a lioness, and she blows fire. So she burned all the kingdoms. So their flood myth is a burning myth done by Setmot, the lioness head goddess.
I'll set you on Setmot like fire. Only some people could maybe understand that.
Yeah, it doesn't just ring. It's not like Osiris or or.
Listen, that was supposed to be funny. You're supposed to laugh, okay? Ha ha. Where do you store information like that? That's incredible.
Oh, well, we've barely scratched this mountain, but I don't know. I've been doing the version of these shows for like 5 or 6 years, and so the whole point of not this particular show, this is to have fun and explore and expose wrestlers as being interesting people who are not one-dimensional, and for me to get clout from it. Yeah, sure. But the original.
Sorry to disappoint you. I'm not deep in these theories to know it and interest your mind, but you can interest mine while you're on my time. I'd enjoy that the most.
Well, no problem. So the basic premise of the show, once I start doing it, is that I'm too lazy to do my own research, but if I call it a show, I can get guests who know enough about it to do it. And believe it or not, I managed to get like world-renowned guests for like, a show that like 50 people listen to, and they said yes, and it's just been going crazy since then. So Egyptology is one of the first things. I had the British magician Mog Morgan on, and I said, let's talk about Egyptian mythology. He goes, well, you can't talk about Egyptian mythology without talking about magic too, correct? And I'm like, but now I know what that means. I didn't know what that meant then.
That's incredible. You have to send me the link, so that's up in the airing. Egypt has always fascinated me. My goodness, but I obviously since then have taken time and really indulge myself into wrestling and my research to become the best.
What's the deal with Egypt these days? Is it safe to travel to Egypt? Or?
I've been waiting to know if it is, because I'm there on the first ticket. I tell my boyfriend all the time he has to propose to me in Egypt all the time. I say it. Or the corner store at a bodega, because those are my two favorite places.
That's sort of an easy cop out for him, isn't it? To go to the bodega.
It's a specific bodega, though. Okay.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, real quick, while we're on the topic of Egypt, we've never talked about this, and I'm curious to what you think. How do you think the pyramids were built? What's your theory? I'm sure this is strong to your heart somewhere, and you at least have an opinion.
I hope you're talking to our guest.
No, Jeff.
I'm talking to you. Even I know. I want to hear it.
I'm curious what Jeff's theory is.
Me too.
Well, I don't have a theory because I know how they were built. I had Andy from the History of Africa, and I've had an architect who's a Harvard architect, and then he's like, we know how they built. We know how they built the pyramids because they kept written records of what they did. They even signed it, so you can tell Imhotep I, Imhotep II. They actually signed their work, and they did. So they had quarries. They weren't as far as everyone makes them seem. They used the Nile, and they had rafts, and they didn't use slaves. It was like seasonal. So the whole Exodus thing, like in the Bibli with Moses and stuff, probably never happened. So yeah, and I mean, as one of the people told me, you can tell, you could see the development because the oldest pyramids are the smallest ones and half of them fell down. So they learn by trial and error. But go to the beach. What's something the kid builds? You build a pyramid. It's one of the easiest structures to put up there.
You
And they're,
see?
and they're not really aligned to Orion like all of the Hancockians will have you. They're not, they're not like superconductors of energy and whatever. They're tombs, and everyone's like, well, how come you didn't find any bodies in them? Because they got looted. That's why they moved the bodies to the Valley of the King. And
There it is. Yep.
it's Saqqara.
I always see the videos and it looks so sketchy just to go because there's so many scammers outside trying to get you, and that would irk my skin. So
You go with
That's everywhere I feel now when you vacation.
These ones are like overly aggressive, where I feel like I would have to put hands on a fucking.
You go with a tour. You go with a tour, and you have to go with one of these like magic. The Templars were here, but you have to go with a tour. A legit place. And
I want to go with a guy that's holding a gun half the size of him. That's the only way I feel safe internationally.
Well, they have soldiers there.
I know they're like on the spot. They got the biggest guns ever.
So I actually was speaking to, it was either John Hoopser or Ed Barnhart. They're both archaeologists, and they both do.
I can't believe you know a plethora of archaeologists. Okay.
Listen, I'm supposed to be impressed by you, not by me. So, but Princess, I'm just obeying you.
No.
Giving you the information. So Barnhart does tours for money. Hoops doesn't, but I asked them both. I'm like, is it safe to go to Egypt? They're like, if you go with the tour, it's absolutely safe. The tourist areas are absolutely safe. Yes, nothing will ever happen in those tourist areas. That's like if something happens at Disney World, it's just not going to.
Oh no, I say the same thing. I'm going to Mexico this weekend, humble brag. I'm going to Playa del Carmen, which is right in between Cancun and Tulum. And every generic white person that's never been on an airplane is like, isn't it dangerous down there? And no.
Oh.
Absolutely not dangerous down there, because if you stay in the tourist zone, nothing will ever happen to you. Just don't talk to the guys wearing jeans on the beach. They sell drugs.
LOL. Or
The
maybe
more you fuck with those
to
guys,
them.
the more trouble you'll get in. If you're not looking for trouble, you won't find it.
What if you want drugs?
Yeah, what if you want drugs, dude?
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's straight. Right? Do you have to make sure they're wearing nice jeans?
No, it's just the weirdest thing. Like, it's the only people wearing jeans are the drug dealers on the beach. It's the weird.
It's like their calling card.
Yeah.
I'm glad to say that I've never been on a beach where anyone's wearing jeans.
Love that for you.
I love that for me too.
So yeah, I'll be happy to
I
send
hope
you
I didn't
stuff.
jinx myself.
No, yeah. But yeah, Egyptology, very interesting, very fascinating. And then when you get into the Egypt, cavern, then you sort of fall into the Sumerian and Babylonian. It's sort of inevitable. It's fun. It's good stuff. You learn about then you learn where Kush was and what Kemet is, and how Upper Egypt is actually down south, and Lower Egypt is up north. And
So are you saying Egypt is overrated?
no. I'm just saying that there's very peculiar things like that, because it's like between Sudan and Egypt is the cataracts of Nile. So the highlands are actually further south, but it's called Upper Egypt because that's where the highlands are.
Yes.
So it's like one of those things where like Norfolk is actually south of South Park.
Okay.
In Boston, there's a town called Norfolk and town
Yes.
called Suffolk, and they're reversed. It's like,
Yes. And you just wonder why they do something so obnoxious that way.
I do. I wonder that stuff all the time. Do they do anything like that in Texas, or is everything like orderly?
What did you say?
Do they do stuff like that in Texas, or is everything?
Well, beyond Texas, I've lived in many places where I've witnessed that. Just roads for no reason say exactly the opposite of what it actually is. I've yet to notice this in Texas, though.
Okay. Whereabouts in Texas are you?
I'm in Texas City.
Texas
That's right
City?
outside of Houston. I know, Texas City in Texas.
Okay, so I was once in the airport and I saw what is
There's
it?
two airports in Texas.
It's Douglas County, right? That's Houston.
There's a William Hobby, and then I guess the other one would be Douglas then.
Okay, so so in my past I was a lawyer and I go to business conferences. I'm still a lawyer, but I don't go to business conferences. And so somebody's asking me something about, hey, do you know what happened to this person? I said, oh yeah, I heard that they had a warrant issued against them in Douglas County, Texas, and that everybody was looking for them. And like all of a sudden all the sheriffs, they screech, and we're at BWI Airport, and one of them catches my. He knows them because I'm just fucking with everybody, and and they're like, okay, but the person I was with, they got a little scared. They're like, don't do that. I'm like, don't worry, you're fine. I'll take care of it. It was back when I thought I was immortal.
You probably still are. It's fine.
Probably. Let's test
Yeah.
that. By the way, we don't talk about wrestling, but I have to tell you, two of my absolute favorite matches in the past calendar year in NWA were your matches with Natalia Markova. They were exceptional.
So, two of the matches that you like happen to both be with Markova? Oh, so you're a Markova fan then?
Didn't say that. Didn't say. You were both in the matches. I watched so yeah. No, they were excellent matches.
No, I do feel Markova is easy to work with. You know, she can really take a beating. I don't know if you saw the cage match. I remember watching that match and literally being so shocked because I watched it the first time with the rest of the world. You know, so we tape the NWA matches and then we don't see it for months. And the same time the world sees it, I'm seeing it. And I'll never forget the moment when I witnessed myself lick Markova's blood from her face to my finger. That was just repulsive. I was screaming at the screen like, no! You know, I just get... So when I'm in the ring with Markova, she definitely brings out that side of me. It's fun.
The John Moxley influence. John Moxley rub there. Is she actually from Eastern Europe?
I don't know anything personally about freaking Markova.
Is her accent real?
Yes, absolutely. It's as thick as it comes.
Okay. So she probably is.
Yeah, you know, I know. Yeah, Markova definitely has her accent. So I would assume. I think she just, honestly, I think, shame on me, maybe I should have sent her a basket. But she just, I think, became a citizen. Actually, it was announced on the NWA.
Oh, good for her.
Right. Exactly.
America.
All right. Well, good for all of them. I saw her beat up that Hunter Drake guy who I just call Mullet Boy. So, Thomas, you look like you were waving.
No, I'm Gucci. Go ahead.
Okay. So no, I don't expect you to know stuff about anyone's personal life, nor would I really ask. I just was curious because if I ever got her on the show, I would ask about Eastern Europe stuff. Because I got some people there as well.
Do you? You got people everywhere. I'm gonna call you. You're the guy. You know, you might be the new guy that I call to know where's the best to eat in town. La Princesa needs the best food, so I feel like you would know. You said you were a lawyer, so you know lawyers got to eat well.
There are some cities where I could. I wouldn't go global on that one, but like Chicago and New York and DC, sure.
Tiffany, please share some of your favorite spots within your travels. Doesn't matter what city. I'm always curious to hear.
I'm easy to please. I gotta tell you, I'm from the Bronx, you know, so I grew up and I still do. Anytime I'm back in New York, I go to the corner store. It's called Moreno's Deli, and I get an egg and cheese sandwich. But I'm easy to please so much so that I just don't like every egg and cheese sandwich. So it's really weird. I like everything and anything. I grew up eating anything passed to me. So my favorite places to go when I'm traveling are Mexican restaurants. You get a good amount of food. It's always well seasoned and it's a great price. I never remember the name, but because they always got something fancy and it's never a franchise, you know?
Are you big on the barbecue down in Texas?
I don't care for barbecue. I really freaking don't like that smoked taste. I mean, sometimes I like it for my wings, but I really don't.
Interesting.
I really don't. But I've had plenty. I just missed, what was it they have down here? Dang it. I don't know why it's crossing my mind. They have the big, where's that event that years ago, like big stars come to perform? It's the
Coachella.
Not Coachella, but it's Texas's version of it.
South
Rodeo, the rodeo.
Rodeo.
The rodeo. You know what those Texas folks do, the rodeo. But I just missed it. I wanted to attend, but I had to show that weekend that it was happening.
That might be where Panda went. Super Panda. Do you know him?
Nope.
Okay.
Don't know Super Panda.
Shocking.
But does Super Panda know me is the question.
I will ask him when I talk to him, which hopefully will be tomorrow. But I will make.
Well, you tell him that I said yes, and you make him feel like crap if he tells you no. Okay.
Yeah, I will. Plus,
thank you.
this is a hot secret, but he's actually an Emmy Award winner. So
Oh wow!
in his non superhero, what's the opposite
I
of
probably
secret
heard some of
identity?
his tunes then.
No, Emmy, not Grammy.
Okay, just kidding.
Yeah, no,
Well then,
on the
FML.
from the Righteous Gemstones.
Geez, you're just setting me up for failure here.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Listen, the only topic I really know the most about is me. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Am I wrong for that? That's probably why I'm successful. I only focus on me. It's about Tiffany. It's too much in this world, you know?
How does a girl from the Bronx end up in Texas?
Because Booker T has reality wrestling here. I know we're trying to steer away and like dip our pot out of wrestling, but my life just is really indulged in wrestling. So I live in Texas City because of reality wrestling. Booker T now has this facility and they opened the doors to me when I signed with NWA. And I was closing the doors with OVW. I was there for 2 years and I climbed the mountain there. I was a champion there. I've done many storylines there and I want to challenge myself. And already signing with the NWA, I wanted the opportunity to still touch hands with people who are possibly on their way to WWE or, for example, people who are currently with NXT. So that's what made me come down here. And I'm really excited because I'm now in a feud with Sharmell. So Sharmell is a Hall of Famer herself. And that's one of the doors that have opened since I come here, at least for Sharmell. You know, she's getting to come out from selling tickets and get in the ring with someone like me.
We love everybody loves Sharmell.
Everyone does love Sharmell. Everyone does love Sharmell.
I have a cage match coming up in the next couple of weeks. Since you just had a cage match not too long ago, what advice would you have for someone going into their first steel cage match?
Perfect. So who are you facing in this cage match?
It's actually like a war chamber. It's a like a war games. It's like 4-on-4. Crazy.
That is like the best version of a cage match.
What advice? What should I do? Should I tape the knuckles? What's up? Should I wear elbow pads on a day that I don't wear elbow pads?
That's funny. So I know for my
cage match. How did you prepare for your cage match?
I took advantage, and I feel like life prepared me because don't we all live in a cage one way or another, right? That's deep. But it's like a brawl, you know, you use anything and everything. So there was a point where I remember I ripped off the referee's belt and used the belt to my advantage to tie someone up to the rope, you know, to try to get the advantage to climb out the cage. So really just using anything and everything and trying to avoid being that person that, eats the cage. That's not something you want to do. But you know what? Be willing to climb and risk it all. And if you're not willing to do that, then don't get in the cage.
Jeff, she said Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, or go home.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
That's all I heard.
I want to try some.
I want to follow up this cage match. I want to see it. So after I need the links. I'm going to see if you took my advice.
Lay it all on the line.
Yes, exactly. That is what I told you. Lay it all on the line. All the above.
Absolutely. Maybe you should wear one of those Kruger masks just in case.
Listen, you see now that's Jeff's advice. I did not give you that advice. Now Jeff is setting you up. I don't know what he's setting you up for, but
Jeff loves gimmicks.
I just want your pretty face to be protected, Thomas.
I ain't getting color, brother.
I know. That's why you want the Kruger mask.
Did you see what happened to my boy? Not my boy. Well, your Arn's kid, Brock Anderson. Did you see him take the steps the hard way?
Ooh.
In the Battle Riot, came home with about 9 stitches, coast to coast.
That's exactly what happened to Markova. She took the cage the hard way, and she had to get stitches.
Yeah, that was looking that looked
Some
good,
may say I gave her a high cheekbone job, so she should thank me.
Ooh, damn.
Her cheek now sits a little higher because of me, so you know.
Well, now you have to do the other side to even it out.
You know what? Well, one step at a time, okay?
Yeah, we're all about aesthetics here. It's all about symmetry, physiognomy, or how.
There you go, talking about things. He's right. You've got a point.
Yeah, absolutely. So now it's like a moral imperative. Anything else for the steel cage trips? Like, stay in the corner, like you get those long, the handcuffs that they have with like 2-foot long chains to, handcuff people together, duct tape.
I do like the idea of stealing the ref's belt to whip some ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Belt
Anything.
to ass.
If you choke them out with it, hold them down with it.
Taking notes, Jeff. I'm taking notes.
Okay.
My advice is to not try not to get yourself to have to handle business in a steel cage match. But if you do, balls to the wall.
The odds are not in my favor, for the record.
Really?
Either of you know this.
Not with that attitude.
That's right, Thomas. Not with that.
I got Paul Walter Housing on my team. He's an actor. He's had 3 matches.
Well, that may work to your advantage. He's not going to act like he knows it all, and he's only going to take smart.
I hope he's just reckless.
He is a progress champion.
He probably can drop a really good elbow from the top.
He is a progress champion.
I know. We watched the show and we reviewed it on Wrestling Soup. We did a watch along. I'm not sure everyone knew it was being reviewed, but they either people of Progress didn't listen to it or they actually liked it because they asked us to do another one. So anyway, I have a question.
I will say I did buy a Progress show one time. It was Walter versus Tyler Bate, but they took my money as a paying customer.
Oh, Tyler Bate. Okay. I lost it for a second. All right.
You forgot about him.
I didn't. I just couldn't place it. Yeah, so I forgot about him. Bad haircut. Sort of looks like Kevin Sullivan, but not really. All right. So in Evolve and NXT, there's a referee, and she wears a Gucci belt on TV. And they're like, A, is that distracting? 2, like, don't you have to steal that belt? If you're going to steal a belt, you're going to steal the Gucci belt?
Who wears that? I love the flex, though. Is it the black chick?
No, it's the blonde.
Oh, word.
You said, is it the black chick?
Well, that would make sense. I know it wasn't because they wouldn't let a black chick wear a Gucci belt on television. They just but like it would make sense. But okay, I understand. Hey, but no,
sponsorship because every now and then I see like all the wrestlers from the same company wearing the same brand. Like I'll see them all wearing like.
They could possibly be.
You know what it probably is? It's probably the head ref bought all the other guys Gucci belts for Christmas, and they all wear.
Or it's probably
it's something along the lines of that.
She clearly forgot her belt, and that was the only belt left her size, and she had
a sweet flex, though. I wouldn't be upset about it. I wouldn't consider it upset.
You know what? My match would be so good. If that takes away from my match, then I suck.
I am probably the only person watching Evolve that notices that.
Listen, Gucci could never outshine me.
No, of course not. But, Thomas uses the word Gucci like to say fine.
Like, yeah.
I'm doing great. He goes, I'm Gucci.
I'm from Philly. I'm sorry.
Why not Armani? Why Gucci? Why not Bruno Mali? What's so special?
I don't know.
Why not Ferragamo?
You're
That's
watching
actually a great word. I love that. That's so
Evolve on Tubi every week.
I watch Evolve on Tubi every week, and we review it on the Wrestling Soup and Friendos network.
Has Gal been on? Has my boy Gal been on?
Only once was Gal actually in the ring, and then he had like an appearance afterwards, but not so much. So how is Gal your boy? Let's hear this.
New England. He trained. He was once upon a time training at New England Pro Wrestling Academy. Shout out to Scott at New England Pro Wrestling Academy, the #1 wrestling school in Northeast America in New England. Right. Check them out. They have their fantasy camps every 3 months. Go become a wrestler. I met Gal when he was up there once upon a time, and a good dude, was in shape. Israeli, I think is where he's from, Israel, right? But like has red hair. Strange, something along the lines of that.
Well, he's very Syrian. He's got red hair.
Yeah, I love it. Good dude, funny accent. But I saw a weird like TikTok with them, and I know it was a work, but people were offended. So something along the lines of that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
If anyone that knows those two knows that.
All right. Well, anybody knows that's those two, and you're an indie wrestler or someone in wrestling, and you want to be a co-host on the only and premier Evolve podcast. By we, I mean I am looking for an in the industry podcast co-host. But if you're at the beginning,
you will never get me on that show. You'll never get me watching 1 minute of Evolve unless I'll put a stipulation out there. Unless all ego Ethan Page is headlining an Evolve show, is the only way I'll watch.
Okay. If that happens, I will let you know. But no, you are way too generous with me as it is. No, I would no. I'm talking about someone who's new in the business. Someone who's got less than 5,000 followers. I mean, I wouldn't say no to someone's bigger, but someone that's on the Evolve level, that's worked with the folks, and they want to get a little bit of exposure for themselves, but help us have a more intelligent show. I mean, so I
might recommend someone for you.
I'm teaming with White Chocolate here. All he tells me is how his feet are so goddamn big. I mean, but he made a great video, so it's terrific. Anyway, we have a princess here, so let's talk about her. Princess, what I know NWA has a couple shows in May. One is in Illinois and one is in Philadelphia. I saw you on the card, on the the poster, or the chyron. So what is your role there? You going for some? You going for the Burke? I mean, is Natty taking your spot? What's happening here?
You know what? It looks like Natty is just simply. This is a good opportunity for me. So when I saw that Natty was originally announced, I had my eyes set to face her. But reality is, what would that do for me? What would that do for Natty? Natty doesn't have a title, and my goal is to always climb the top of where I'm at. So it would, of course, be Kenzie. And I thought maybe how can we set up a gauntlet match where all the girls, maybe Natty's involved. I thought maybe it was going to be a gauntlet match for the women's title. I mean, I think, I definitely qualify. Kenzie qualifies to defend it. Natty qualifies for it. Markova would qualify for it. So I was like, man, that sounds like a good opportunity. I think we're all going to be in a gauntlet. So when I did see that, the match was going to become Kenzie and Natty, the writing was on the wall that this is just an opportunity, because I will give Kenzie, our current champion, she had to defeat Camille for that title, and Camille was the champion for about 5 years, and Camille defended that title and faced a lot of people. So the opportunity now becomes, what if Natty is our new champion?
What if, indeed?
Now that is more exciting to me than facing Natty with no title at all. So that was my viewpoint. And, the unfortunate thing, which for you guys or the fans, is that we pre-tape these events, right? So there's only so much I can share.
Understood.
But so much has happened since the first week of December when I had that cage match. So when I go into this Crockett Cup at NWA, I'm not just walking in the champion of Exodus Pro. I'm walking in with two different responsibilities that put me in a different playing field now, and it's really excellent. It's exciting, and at the time when it's really unfortunate, but it's going to be exciting when everyone gets to see this episode, and when it airs. But I remember talking to Billy, and right now we're working on our women's tag division, and I had a vision for the Crockett Cup that wasn't initially there. So I can tell you one thing: I will be having a women's championship match for the tag titles. So that's going to be fun.
Well, I don't know. For anybody
my-
listening, that sounds like she greased the promoter. But hey,
What did you say? What does it sound like?
sounds like you greased the promoter to giving you a title shot here. But I'm not mad about it. You got to
Listen, is it greased if you already have it?
You're lobbying for tag title shots here. It's all good. But make sure everyone checks out the Crockett Cup, coming live from the 2300 Arena in my hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's on May 17th. I'm looking at the poster here. Big jacked up. Everyone's so jacked and tan. But we got Natty, EC3, Rhino, just to name a few. Two black guys in masks, which has my attention. I'm not sure.
One's Rodney Mack.
Oh, I love to know this.
One Forest Trauma.
This is crazy.
There it is.
This looks like the new version of Doom.
I'll give you a hint.
I'm excited. Gail Kim's going to be there. I like always running into Gail Kim. She's
the guy
great.
who's not Rodney
Shout
Mack
out to
was
Gail Kim's husband.
The guy who's not Rodney Mack he was in the West Coast Wrecking Crew or whatever. He was in Filthy Tom Lawler's faction in New Japan Strong. So you can get the inside skinny on the other gentleman.
He's great.
Yeah. And they're managed by Aaron, who I've already told you is
phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas, I had something I wanted to say and I forgot about it because you were doing promos, which is good. We're supposed to
Talking wrestling here. You know what? I like everybody. Everybody likes wrestling. Check out the Crockett Cup on the 17th of May in Philadelphia. Get a cheesesteak at Tony Luke's around the corner.
Listen, screw all that. Get a Tiffany merch shirt and make sure you're in the crowd watching Tiffany hold the NWA title high and mighty, because I'm a greaser and I greased my boss for it. Make it the new headline.
Smoozer. Get tickets at nationalwrestlingalliance.com.
Listen, you want your titles on the best, and I'm the best at everything. So it's as simple as that.
Oh, but people who are buying tickets, there's 3 different showings. So you can buy tickets for one show or you can buy for all 3 of them.
That is true.
Yeah. and you can buy different levels of, well, I don't know what's available still, but you can buy different levels. Hey, the sizes of the venues increase. I mean, 2,300 is larger than the studio, obviously, but I don't know about like Dothan and, are the sizes going? I mean, MLW is going up, TNA is going up. A lot of places are going up. And I think
I do see that we're now getting venues that are going up, but we once in a while will still, our home base is our studio in Tampa, the PBS studio, I believe. But we probably tape there like 2 times out of the year. We try to travel as much as possible. My
Thomas,
favorite place
you
to
could
go
be
to is
you could be
definitely
the third
Dothan.
at Blunt Force Trauma. You could be the third guy with a mask.
Who, me?
No,
Thomas, I would
you
love
could fit
that. I will go around the corner for an easy booking for sure. But
And not an easy
the
booking.
23, I mean, for me, because I don't have to travel, but the 2,300 arena is definitely a big arena. Set up for a good amount of size, way more than the studio holds, but that only means either you guys got a good deal on rent or you're expected to sell some tickets. So that's win-win.
We're returning, so we actually even had 76 there, NWA 76. That was really cool. I went through a table there, and that felt really electric. I could only imagine the crowd's hungry there. Anytime we've been there, we've been able to sell it out. And
Philly loves wrestling, man, and that neighborhood will never change. It's a bunch of, they still believe it's real, Jeff.
I love Philly. And speaking of, Greek mythology and all that good stuff, which I don't know any details of, but there are so much art in Philly, museums and statues and all type of monuments out there. So I definitely made my walkings around town when I was last in Philly, and I really liked it. Philly's actually one of my top places I've been to wrestle, and I liked.
Excellent food city as well. If you get out,
is that true? What would you eat from Philly?
I mean, you can get anything. It depends on what you're in the mood for. Definitely get a cheesesteak, and then whatever your ethnic background is, it's super international. Probably one of the best places for halal food and things of that nature, or Vietnamese, or just any type of random anything you want is at the tip of your fingers, right there on any Uber Eats or Grubhub, and they'll bring it.
I think a part of my life where that I like meal prep. I've grown accustomed to my meal prep, and if I get off of it, my stomach just turns into circles. But
treat yourself. Doing all this traveling, treat yourself to a good meal or two.
Oh, I have. So I actually was just on. I was in North Carolina for a couple of days, and I treated myself for 3 days in a row for sure. But my body definitely let me know.
Treat yourself. What do you consider treat yourself? I'm sure it's way different than what me and Jeff consider.
No, I went out to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner 3 days in a row. And I had steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Did you go to Cookout?
Yeah. Well, I thought if I'm going to cheat on my meal prep, I might as well get my protein every meal. So I was like, screw it. We're going to have a steak and eggs, and we're going to have a steak bowl, and we're going to have a nut steak again for dinner.
What's your favorite steakhouse?
I don't have a favorite steakhouse, but I will tell you, anytime I've eaten at the Morton Steakhouse, I mean, the meat melts in your mouth. So that's, I think when you go to a very fine restaurant, you're gonna have a fine steak. But I'll eat any steak. I don't care if it's the $8 steak from the store. I'm eating steak. I like it.
Jeff, for sure. Prime 112 in Miami.
Yeah, exactly. Ocean. Oh, well, that's a seafood place, but they also serve really good steak.
A lot of places are.
Do you have any steak suggestions for if you're on a, quick trip?
Yeah, always Outback. Outback steak.
Outback, yeah.
200 locations across North America. It'll never let you down.
Now I'm probably gonna go treat myself after this to a steak. To be honest, I'm gonna have to think about it. Even though I have meal prep already prepped,
A blooming onion and a little fillet. You're good to go, man.
Right.
On the road special. It's a wrestler special for you, Jeff.
MLW and NWA had one thing in common at this 1 week, and I heard what you said, and I know that NWA tapes in advance, but both of you, the same week, had Baba Thunder show up and never show up again.
Well, things change. Circumstances change. We thought you were there for a long time.
Subject to change. So are we going to see Baba Thunder there? Or
I love Babatunde. I've known Babatunde for so long.
I think they still haven't revealed all the names that are coming. So you could. Who knows? They have yet to reveal everyone that will be.
He's like a guy that needs 2 seats on a flight, though, Jeff. He's a big bull.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Well, don't let him take your blunt force trauma spot.
Never. He can have it.
I can have a word. Don't worry. No, don't worry. Listen, if I talked my way into getting an opportunity at the tag titles, I can talk him into the show. No worries.
Now, is that Billy you got to talk to, or is that EC3 you got to talk to?
Well, you know what? Let's scratch this. I don't have to talk to anyone. My work speaks and does for itself, and simple as that. But I did tell Billy, if you want to tie me down to NWA, then I'm gonna tie NWA to my back and put it on my back. So only title matches only for La Princesa, and he's kept his word since.
Jeff, you'd be such a good commissioner at the NWA.
I am a commissioner. It's not that I would be such a good.
Jeff, run for commissioner, Jeff.
I'm great.
I would happily be the commissioner. That would be fantastic. So much.
Why would you want to make him the commissioner if I'm a great commissioner?
Because he's a man of the law.
Well, you could be the real commissioner, and I would just be like the talking. I'd be like the Jack Tunney.
You'd be the Dwight to my Michael Scott. Is that what it is? Like you'd be my sidekick? Yeah. What, do you not like The Office?
That's fine. I did. I placed it a little bit later. There was a delayed reaction because I was doing the
excuses. It's fine.
I was sticking in wrestling. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, yeah, I'll be the empty head spokesperson, like basically the sock puppet. Like Meltzer.
With that being said, rent-free Dave lives in everyone's head. But Champ, plug your stuff. Where can we buy your shirts? Where can they see you next? Plug your shows, plug your t-shirt, plug your Amazon wish list.
Well, you guys can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram, Tiffany Nieves _. And then I perform weekly at Reality Wrestling. So that's aired on YouTube, as well as NWA. So that's something you can keep an eye out. We're hoping to soon get a TV deal. So keep your fingers crossed for especially me and everyone at NWA. You can see us on TV soon. But till then, it's going to be YouTube, it's going to be Twitter, and it's going to be my Instagram.
Jeff, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go out on a limb here on a wait and see and say both NWA and MLW will announce TV deals before the end of this year.
You know what? You must be an oracle because you are speaking. What else? Do you see anything for me? Like, do you see any titles? Let's hear it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Lots of titles.
I don't predict wrestling. I don't fantasy
collector.
Listen, come on.
You're going to be promoted to queen and queen of the territories.
There we go. Just play along. My gosh. Jeez.
See, aren't I good at I can just
you know what, Jeff? I changed my mind for you.
That's more of a worker than I am.
You're back in.
In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. I mean, I'm not 6'5". There's that.
Brother.
So that'll never happen. I'm also, I'm 6'5", the reverse, and that's my age. So there you go.
Is it true? That's pretty great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's terrific.
He's a young man.
Listen, black don't crack. Good for you.
Yeah. For the audience who's confused, I'm still white. So I crack plenty. So
Jeff, real quick, I'm just going to plug my shit. It's at Mocha Traps on the Instagram. It's at Mocha Traps on the Twitter or the X. Check out MLW. We're in Chicago on May 10th. That show is sold out. Lucha Ateca. But you can catch that on YouTube, live stream. June 26th, MLW returns to New York City in Melrose Ballroom, Queens, New York. Tickets on sale now. Catch me outside. How about that?
Like a double super fan show for me. Super fan
in
MLW.
Got it, bueno. How about that?
Yeah,
love it.
Bueno, indeed, bueno. And if you're somehow here and you don't know how to follow me, you can follow me for wrestling nonsense at dose_evil. For more banal stuff at Icarus Fell MD. Icarus, again, the little Greek mythology there. And if you're here again by accident, then subscribe. Just type in of Thought and subscribe, and you'll generally get 3 shows a week. One is like this one. The other on the weekend show, sort of if you turn on the History Channel at 7 p.m. and sort of, keep it on until 4 in the morning. That's kind of panoply landscape. And the midweek show is really more like a 48 hours or like one segment of 60 minutes, like a magazine show. So there you go.
Hope subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. So listen to the Princesa. Obey your liege lord.
Obey me. Subscribe. Get it, got it, bueno.
That was good. Just leave it there, right? All right. Thank you very much, La Princesa Tiffany Nieves. Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Jeff. It was a pleasure meeting you and speaking with you face to face.
Pleasure was on. Thanks very much, everyone. See you next week.